Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Halloween episode! My name is Brandon Ross. I am your host and game master for tonight's episode of Tales of the Skytorn. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and knock out a couple of really quick announcements. First off, if you have not done so, please do us all a favor and check out our lovely link tree where we have organized all of the great places where we release content and give you information about what's going on with us here at Player Hater Gaming. It has all the links you need. Instagram, X, Twitter. They're all the same thing. I don't care.
We're on Blue Sky now.
And we're on Blue Sky now. Go check that out. We got great places and great things. And I'm just going to hype up what everybody else says if you can't hear them. But I'm going to repeat it just louder. This is not going to fail me at all.
You'll be fine.
Also, I'll be fine. Also, if you have not done so as well, please come join us in our community, our Discord. We have two of them. One, the official Player Hater Gaming Discord. Come, share memes, talk life, play D&D, share items, whatever. Come hang out. We'd love to see you and chat. But if you're looking for somewhere that is exclusively focused in and honed on playing D&D in a West Marches style server, well, we have the place for you. Our resident rogue paladin, Mav Hunter, if you would, tell us a bit about this other Discord we have.
It's Chaos Incarnate, in all honesty. It is where you want to have fun, have no idea where to start, have no idea what the chat commands are for Avery or any other dice bots. We will teach you, we will let you know what it is, we will cry with you every single time you get a nat 1 on your death saving throws and have to go remake another character. Trust me, I've done that way too many times. But as it is, we will gladly teach you and have you along for the ride. But on top of that, let's say you want to actually create the story. Make a path for everybody to go, I don't want to go that way. I want to go into the weird woods with all the crazy witches and hags and ignore your entire story plot hook that you may have created for them. We will teach you as well and let you cry on our shoulders when they decide to, instead of butchering the creatures, try to make them into pets, and now you have to deal with 18 people to actually go through for the adventure instead of your original 6. It's okay. It happens. They will get pets. Just be prepared. So we will teach you, we will let you have all the fun, and join us in a Sherma, and we hope to see you there.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Now, some other fun stuff going on around here. I am just going to go around the room and have everybody talk about all the things they do here when they stream for us. And according to the way I'm looking at this, it looks like first up is the Doctor.
Ooh.
Hello. I'm Rot. I tend to do our horror streams every other Tuesday, as well as play the Doctor here on Wednesday, and you probably mostly know me from our Saturday streams, where I am either the guy with plot armor or the person menacing the party.
Yep.
That is true.
There have been plenty of times where I was like, that's his deceiving voice. Don't listen to him.
Yeah.
I've died many a time to rot.
I'm not gonna
Many
lie,
times.
last Saturday,
Be
as
fair.
we played Lethal Company, I legit thought I heard Rod's voice in game as I encountered not one, not two, but 5 emergency exits.
Oh dear.
Which is impossible because I was not there.
Mhm.
That is the reason why. All I hear
I
was,
have scarred
pick
everybody
this
here,
door.
and I love it.
pick this door, Mav. And I was just like, nope. I just turned around and walked away. I was like, I'm not being eaten by a mimic today. I instead got eaten by a freaking giant, but that's beside the point.
All right.
Yeah.
Next up.
Sunday. Hi. It's
Yeah.
me.
Hi.
Zahn.
And me.
look, it's Red. We are playing Baldur's Gate, and we're doing it as our characters, and it's so much fun. And, I don't know, I haven't played through Baldur's Gate, but maybe there's, like, a sleepy little dragon that wants to join you. But we'll see. Who knows?
I won't say anything because spoiler.
Yes, 'cause spoilers. Who else?
Mav?
Oh, I guess I'm the last one. So, I like Rot, will also run games on Tuesday. It has been Subnautica for a while, but as tomorrow is the release date for Dragon Age Veilguard, which I've been super hyped for, we will start that on Tuesday, even though I've already been yelled at that how dare I drop the game. But it is a new game. We must try the game. We must enjoy the game. And when I'm done with it, or I get fed up with trying to lose in Wukong to the same boss for over 3 hours, I will go back to Subnautica and
Over
deal
and
with the
over
depths
again.
and just wonder how many times the Reapers are going to bite my ass and leave me alive. Besides that, we are usually here on Wednesdays as the Dragonborn Paladin Rogue.
Paladin?
Paladin,
You
I
know
love
what?
it.
Words are
That's
hard,
a paddling.
okay?
That's a paddling.
Madeline. Mm,
Words are hard. Leave me alone.
yep.
He is a
And
charisma-based
Saturdays-
caster.
Yeah. And then Saturdays with Rot, Meg, and whoever else wants to join us for some chaos.
Yes.
As we play whatever the hell we decide is actually going to be fun for all of us. Or as we also consider it, Rot's training camp, where he ends up just murking us in the game, and we wonder how the hell did he do that this time?
Hey,
Mm.
you guys have gotten better at a lot of these games, to be fair.
That is true. It's taking you a lot longer to murk us.
Well, if we play more often, it wouldn't take as long.
That is very true.
Yes.
Well, alrighty then. Aside from that, if you take a pervy look at all of our lovely character screens, in the top right-hand corner, you will notice there is a little D20 that has a number on it. That represents guidance. A D4 can be gifted to our players, but it looks like, as I only allow them to hold 3 apiece, only one of you requires some assistance. So, if you have those channel points, feel free to spend them at this point to give the doctor some help. He's probably going to need it.
That's not ominous.
No.
So
Sure,
I
I will.
guess for all of us here at the table, I'm just going to ask one more thing. Has the deck been refilled?
No.
And I reminded you to. What
You
the
did,
hell?
yes, thank you. I took this weekend completely off. I turned off as much as I could and just zoned out.
Good.
Okay, that's fair.
That's good. That is good every once in a while. Mm-hmm.
Hydrate in chat.
Oh.
Nice.
We gotta hydrate.
God damn it,
Okay.
Does soda count? Oh, drink some water? Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
drink water.
Water.
Listen. That means that I gotta bother the people downstairs to get water, so it's gonna be soda. I'm sorry. I brought soda upstairs with my dinner that I'm gonna finish eating later. So
While
I had some water.
we are all hydrating, I would also like to remind the chat that there is
Mm-hmm.
also another option where you can spend your points. It's called a DM Bane, and it's exactly what you think it is. We love these,
Hello.
and as players,
Mhm.
we aren't allowed to redeem these. So,
No.
if you'd like to be
Mhm.
very generous and help us, the players, please use your points for the DM Bane.
He can have 3 of them.
It must be water.
Water.
I had water.
DM, how many Banes do you currently have? Do you remember?
Yes.
You have 2, okay.
I keep a note of it.
Cool.
Okay.
Every time I flip a page for notes, I just rewrite it in the top right-hand corner.
We
Nice.
too have that note now.
yes.
I'm
What?
Words.
I'm not the only one
Yes.
that's suffering from the word. The word vomit.
Yeah. I can't words. It's fine. Let's intro? Roll the intro.
Roll the intro.
Roll our wonderful T&D.
In the year 208 PT, a world once grounded by tradition and mystery was forever altered. The events leading to the tearing and uprooting of the lands have faded into legend, leaving us with a mystifying era known only as post-Torn. Player Hater Gaming welcomes you to the realm of Ulthana. where our journey takes us high above the clouds, into a realm of wonder and peril. A world composed of dozens of floating islands, each a unique culture unto itself, safe from the dangers lurking below. In this world of soaring islands and untold mysteries, danger lurks in every corner. Heroes and adventurers are born out of necessity, for the unknown has a way of finding its way into even the most tranquil of places. Meet our heroes who will shape the destiny of the Skytorn realm. Dracix, the unlikely but unyielding paladin, a beacon of virtue and strength. Red, the talented sorceress, wielding the elements with unmatched prowess. Eva, the warlock, possesses supernatural prowess, fueled by a pact of unknown origin and intent. Lovikazan, the indomitable barbarian, a force of nature and raw power. And lastly, the Doctor, the masterful wizard, unlocking the secrets of the arcane with every incantation. These 5 souls, each with their own path, will converge in a tale of adventure, wonder, and intrigue. Join them as they explore uncharted territories and uncover the secrets of this realm. Welcome to Tales of the Skytorn. Welcome back, everybody. Over the past few sessions, we have tuned in, watched, enjoyed, cried, and laughed as the cursed crew delved into the Temple of the Three Beasts on a quest to find exactly where in this temple a very peculiar ritual took place. Clearing out a bit of it, but not all of it, they eventually did find their way to an interesting location where they seemed to be almost in 2 places at once. However, where they were at, most specifically, seemed to hold some semblance of the object of which they were seeking. 2 of them attempting to figure out the mystery of the box within the Ruby Phoenix, teleported themselves into it to a most unfortunate circumstance, where over the next 42 seconds, the rest of their party fought and survived against the guardians that stayed behind. However, for those within the box, time was not so kind. Emerging from their own trials and situations, finding that to them, while physically their bodies did not age, and a day even, their minds and their souls had been subjected to 20 years of trial. Leaving the temple in broken parts, some physically, some mentally and spiritually, they eventually gather themselves and will pick up right at the entrance of the Temple of the Three Beasts. That's if anybody hung around to make sure everybody left.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
of you,
Red
you
for
are
sure
welcome
did.
to go wherever you wish. I'm just going to open the scene with the first group or person that did leave the temple.
If I remember correctly, Red and Eva were on their way out with Dracus escorting?
And
Is that
Yeah,
correct?
Drac was, after the reaction from both of them, he got up and he was heading out, not quickly, but giving enough space where everybody can have their privacy. But he was still making sure that the path was safe.
And then did Zahn and Doc leave? Yes or no?
No.
Yeah,
Not
they've
immediately.
not yet.
You stayed for some time, even through the night. It's up to you. I'm just, like I said, that's why I'm opening the scene. So, Drakix, I imagine you probably are first out the door with Galen, not too far from you.
Poor Galen.
Right.
He's out there. He's like,
I'll go.
he kind of like, yeah, he does kind of like pat you on the lower back, like urging you, like, hey, can we go over this way?
He's kind of lets Galen like lead him where he needs to go.
Yeah.
Like,
And Galen
he's-
gets about a good 30, 45 feet, like around a little corner where you can still see the entrance and be seen, but block some of the sound.
Yeah.
Right. So you guys went into that place, and when you came back out, only like 5 or 10 minutes had passed, but you looked awful. What happened?
Drac takes a very slow, deep breath. And there's still like that anger within his eyes. And I'm pretty sure this may be the first time the Galen actually sees it in all their history. Because usually he's more aloof, he's more free spirited. So he's trying to rein it in. And he, after a couple of moments of just controlling his emotions, he goes, well, things went sideways, to be honest.
Right.
It seems.
And as you're talking, you watch as he finds like a stone pillar or something that's like half broken, maybe like waist height to him. He sets his journal down. He pulls out like a dagger from his boot, and he starts cutting pages out of his journal.
And he just calmly just goes, well, for you it was only 5 to 10 minutes, but for us, it felt a lot longer. That fight took more out of us than I think we expected. And if I could raise hell and sunder heaven, I would do that within a heartbeat for what it looks like may have happened within. But this is not for me to do. And therefore, I'm going to just keep that waiting for if I am told to release the storm.
At the moment, he's kind of taken all the papers and has labeled them and kind of set them out in a certain pattern, and it makes the map. Because his journal wasn't big enough to keep up, so it's multiple pages that he numbers, 1, 1, 2, 2, like in the corners where they are to match up. Well, I'm not here to pry into your group's doings. I'm just here to do a job and then get out of here. Here is your map. The corners are labeled, how they match up. It's set in my mind. I'm going back to my tent.
Drac will take the papers gingerly, and at this moment, actually bow to Galen. Which once again would probably be a first because he doesn't.
He's like like you don't hear his stammering, but you just like sense he's like,
yeah,
I don't know what to do with my hands. Like
he
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
Drac just thank you for the help that you gave us. Even though you didn't do much, this alone helps us far more than you know. And I will keep my promise to try to get you out of here.
Thank you. If you need me, you know where I'll be.
I will. Don't worry. You'll hear the storm before anything else.
And he just waves over his shoulder and walks away. Understanding that he just needs to go.
Yeah. And at this point, Drac is probably going to sit on that exact same column with the map in his bag as he just holds this rapier across his lap.
Okay. Say probably, 5-ish minutes pass and Red and Eva walk out?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eva just clocks Drakix off in the distance, unless Drakix, you decide to come over. It's up to you.
He's giving you guys space. If
Yeah.
you want to come over to him, he's not going to stop you. He understands that he has nothing he can do, and he feels powerless, and it's angering him. So right now, you just see him, instead of using an actual whetstone to run along the edge of the rapier, it's actually his claws that he's just grinding against the edge.
Player is amused.
Mhm.
Eva sends him a quick message. You'll find us at the Flamekeeper or at Breeze's.
He's gonna nod. He just says thank you in response.
Make sure the others come out.
I will.
And Eva just leads Red as far away from this place as she can fathom getting.
Red steps are gonna take her in the direction of the Flamekeeper.
Okay.
That's perfectly fine.
What time of day is it again?
It was dark.
It's dark.
It's dark. Oh. He probably won't be there.
I mean, it is his house. He's probably there somewhere.
That's fair. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Make an insight check.
Okay. Okay. That's a 13.
13. You know
Yeah.
it's his house. You know he's an elf. You know he's in sleep.
Okay. Also fair. Cool. Yep, that's where we're going.
All right.
Okay. You head off. On your way through, Red, the two of you have to pass one of the worship points of this island.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Red,
Mm-hmm.
as you are walking past one of them, do you look at it?
Oh, absolutely.
You look at it, and you see you.
Like, how she looks now? You?
Yeah.
Or,
How you look now.
so it changed from how it was before?
Yes.
Eva, dear, take a look at this pillar. Does anything strike you as different?
DM?
I'd say there is a consistent, ambient moonlight given to this place because, again, if you can enchant an island to have the kind of light you want it to have at any time of day, why would you pick total darkness? Why not some moonlight? So
Fair.
give me a perception check. It's the real questions we ask here, people. If
Ryan.
I can, what would I do?
That is true.
16.
16, it looks incredibly bland and familiar. Just exactly what you saw last time.
I mean, the beasts are there.
Oh, I mean, right here. And she will point to the image of herself. What do you see here?
It's a phoenix, dear. Same
I
as it has.
I don't see that. I see me. Like this body, this incarnation.
The
me.
image of yourself reaches its hand out towards you.
Oh, shit. She's gonna touch it!
As your fingertips hit, there's a brief flash as it cries tears of black liquid and vanishes.
Did you see any of that? It.
Words, dear. Please.
Right. Sorry.
I know it's difficult, but
So, The image reached out and touched my hand, and then there was a flash of light. It cried black tears, and then it vanished.
All you, love, I'm afraid.
Right. Can she sense anything arcane about what just happened? Or is this a hallucination?
Let me think here.
Valid question.
Yes. Considering what she just went through for the past 20 years. Yes.
I'm gonna ask for 3 checks and not tell
Oh,
you which one I'm
shit.
using.
Okay.
Arcana,
Mhm.
Insight,
Mhm.
History.
Oh, great. Cool. All right. So Arcana is 11. Insight is nat 20 for a 28, sir.
Okay.
And then History is also a nat 20 for a 22.
Okay. You get the sense this is not hallucination,
Okay.
but more of a finger on the pulse of the current situation of where you're at.
Right.
Or at least where the bulk of you is. Not where you're standing right now. Where the bulk of you is.
So does that mean that there's more of red in this physical form than there is in the box?
The box holds more.
Box holds more. Okay. I'm not certain why you can't see it, but it must be some sort of reflection of how things are. I don't know quite how to explain it.
I mean, you've found your other you. Maybe you're connected.
Right. It would certainly make sense. All I know is we have to get this figured out. I'm telling you right
Tell
now,
me.
if that Flamekeeper actually knew anything, I don't know what I'm going to do.
No, we don't lash out at the people trying to help. It's not our fault we got pulled in there. But it's also not his.
Unless
But
they're an
if-
amethyst dragonborn. But anyway, moving on.
But if he knew I had not been willing. I mean, I did ask, and he seemed genuine. I don't know.
One way to find out.
Right?
Oh, wait.
Looks like I'm not getting much sleep tonight.
Welcome to the club.
You're used to it, dear. I'm very much not.
You should at least try and rest. I understand if you don't sleep, but your body has had a shock, and it needs to recover.
Right. I'll try. You know, I don't know what will happen when I close my eyes. I don't want to be back there experiencing it again through nightmare or whatever. I know sometimes you go and you do other things at night, but I could really use you next to me tonight. Is that all right?
Always.
Right. If I start thrashing or something, or look like I'm having a nightmare, wake me up, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
As the two of you continue on your walk. I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
No.
Okay. As you continue on your walk, Doctor, how long are you staying in the labyrinth / temple?
I imagine it's an hour before
Okay.
he even has the conversation with Zahn. So
Okay.
we'll say an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Okay. Zahn,
Yes.
in this time of quiet reflection and
Mhm.
keeping your arms wrapped around the doctor,
Yep.
you are granted thought, peace. While someone you care for deeply is not at peace,
Mhm.
you find yourself in a peculiar and beneficial mindset to be peace.
Mhm.
What is something from your past that would kind of come to her mind during this hour and a half, 2 hours?
I think in her mind she's trying to rack her brain of trying to figure out what he went through, but in the end knowing in time he would tell her. And she probably thinks back of home and the future, and in this sense of quietness and peace she remembers that words aren't always needed, and so she stays silent with him until he speaks.
Okay. And in the silence, there is nothing more. There is the gentle sound of rock moving here and there. Just things you would expect in a temple that is quite possibly at the lowest point of any available ground that is left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before it just falls out through the bottom. But it doesn't happen. But you're like, is that a crack of losing some footing, or is that just
Are we sitting on some loose stone here, or are we about to
yeah?
fall through?
No, you again just listening. You, if you really stretch out your mind and your thought, you hear basically the sound of the deep.
Mhm.
It is silent. It is the absence of noise. The low hum of a bit of magic here and there. Nothing to really set your senses off, but just in general, the place you're at.
Mhm.
There is that bit in the air, something arcane or divine about this place. The time passes. Hour, 2 hours, you're not sure. You're not the greatest at keeping time, but you are patient. You are resolute.
Mhm.
And as that time comes and the doctor is able to find some semblance of words, he speaks.
Okay, I have one question because we had a conversation about what Doc tells her and everything outside the
Mhm.
game. Are we doing that right now, or this is the 2 hours where once we're done talking, went back to silence thing?
I would say there was probably that initial conversation just to get it out there,
Okay.
and then you asked for quiet,
Mhm.
and you were granted that gift.
Thank you,
Always. You know I'll always be by your side.
and I'll do everything in my power to stay by yours.
Good. I don't know what I would do without you anymore.
Well, I know I'd be lost.
Mm. I think I would both be mentally lost and physically and geographically lost, probably.
I have missed you.
I missed you too for what brief time you were gone.
I guess it is a little weird.
It is. But you're here. You're safe. You're alive. And it wasn't real. I know it. That's wrong to say it was real for you. And I'm sorry that you went through that.
We all take risk. And I knew it was a risk going in there.
But you didn't know how long.
I don't think anyone could expect how long.
That is
It's
true.
just- It's magic beyond our comprehension at the moment.
I know you'll get through this. And
With your help, I will get through anything.
with everybody's help, I think we'll all get through this.
Yeah. Well, I think we've made them worry long enough at this point. Should probably at least let them know we're coming out.
I mean, I guess.
I don't want to risk falling into the pit again.
Do you want me to carry you?
No, I have the strength to walk. It's just want to be a little cautious on the way out.
Alrighty. We will make our way out cautiously. Zahn will use a spear to just tap the ground in front of her.
As you make your way out in this time that has passed, you immediately begin to realize places where the ground had left your footing been repaired.
Oh, great.
That's not
Uh,
magic.
Yeah, no.
Magic.
Yes. Yes, definitely, but
Yeah.
not good.
Do you look into it further?
I think Doc would. Honestly.
Make an investigation check.
All right.
Zahn is there prepared to catch him if it suddenly gives way. Ooh.
That is a 20 total.
20 total. As you're looking at it, you notice where there is usually some kind of binding agent to keep the stone together. It is a constantly, slowly shifting sand.
Okay.
And a sense of confidence about your path kind of falls onto your shoulders.
That does not make me confident. Slowly shifting sand between stones that could just give way and like.
Okay, so just to help clarify, it's very familiar sand at this point, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I think you're being let out.
Right. Yes.
That Jin
He
is
feels bad.
that Jin's an odd character.
Right. Okay. Let's
As
just.
Jin often are.
Mm. Yeah, let's just.
They do what they want.
I think he's more he respects Doc's gamble at last session. I think he respects
Could
it.
be.
May or may not be true.
May or may not.
Can neither
You might
confirm
find
nor
yourself
deny.
sitting at a card table one day in a dream.
You know, I won't complain because I have the fucking skills to do it. I never get to use them. But yeah, we would make our way. Doc knowing that Jin is making sure we can get out.
Yep. Make it out easily. Jack Ix, about 2 hours passes for you. As you wait in silent focus, reflection, eventually you do hear in the silence that has taken the space around you, you do hear 4 footfalls in a rhythmic pattern making their way out of the temple.
This entire time, after Eva and Red left, maybe about 10 minutes later, he has just been, it would look like randomly moving around like a field waving his sword around. I'm sorry, the rapier around, but really it's just him trying to fine tune his footwork and his blade work. And when they come out, like he would notice it hearing the sound because it's been quiet this entire time. He wouldn't stop. He would just continue. And they would see him probably the glint of the light off of the blade, off of his scales, as he just eyes closed and just going around.
Zahn would probably exit first, followed by Doc.
Mhm.
Glad you made it out.
It's a moment for him to realize the words aimed at him. He kind of just slows down, eventually coming to a stop and just puts it away. Leaves his back to them still, not really looking at them. I trusted everyone, so I knew I didn't have to worry, but I'd rather stay it as a precaution.
Thank you. Where are the others?
Cool. They went to the Flame Keeper.
Right. She'll look over to Doc. Where did you want to go? It's late and I don't know how much you want to talk about it.
I think first some sleep would be in the order.
Yeah. We'll go to Breeze's.
All right.
Jack is gonna nod.
Are you coming or you also need some sleep? Can't have our courageous captain exhausted tomorrow.
I'll get some rest. You guys go.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
Roll to yourself on a physical dice table if you would. Persuasion or deception. Don't tell me what it is. Just keep the number to yourself.
He'd probably win it anyways.
in all honesty, regardless of what I roll, even with a 1, I beat her roll because I have a +8 for both.
Okay.
But you could roll a 1.
I'm still gonna roll this.
Okay. You believe him. He's stubborn, but
Yeah.
you know that he'll. It's the mindset leaders eat last. Leaders eat last, and they'll sleep last. So once everybody is asleep and safe, that's when he'll lay his head down. So you know the best thing you can do to take care of everybody is to get everybody off to a safe place to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Zahn will probably just start walking because she hasn't let go of Doc's hand the whole time. So,
Okay.
yep.
Eva and Red, you make your way to the stone entrance of the Flamekeeper's home. A similar in construction, but definitely much smaller scale of the temple. The curtain is pulled close, but looking inside, you can't see there is some kind of firelight, candlelight, torchlight. You're unsure of what the source is, but there is some light inside.
She's just walking right in.
You walk right in.
Yep.
And you can see there is a little like floating cup of some hot beverage next to him, and he is on that slanted workbench. He has derobed into just like a simple sleeveless tunic and his typical trousers, and he looks rough. He has looks like he hasn't moved probably from the spot all day, as there is just from bottom to top, left to right, is covered in runes, equations, notes, drawings, drafts.
Is he conscious or is he out cold?
Oh, he's conscious. He's just kind of like one hand's on the top of it, and he's drawing with the other very, very small. Ah. Oh. It's been quite some time.
Right. Well, you've no idea. So, question.
Turn down the dial a little bit, love.
Sit. Tea?
Right. Tea. Of course.
Of course. Bitter or soothing?
You choose, dear. Soothing.
He nods his head and quickly gets to work.
I have a lot of questions, and I'm not quite sure what the correct path is to take at the moment.
Let's start with course of events through the day.
Right.
Context.
Context. Right. We made our way through the temple. Perilous journey, that. Found a room made of...
It's just the two of you. Did the rest of them...
They're fine. They're just taking a little.
Oh.
Fine
Okay.
is not... Well...
They're alive. We'll
They're
leave it at
alive.
that.
Right.
Well, that's good.
So we found this room of dream stuff. I don't quite know how to describe it, but we found the place. There was a place, a physical place, where the ritual was conducted, and a place in the dream realm where my box was. In a phoenix statue made of ruby.
You see, he looks confused.
We backtrack a little bit more.
Which part tripped you up?
That doesn't sound right. Your box wasn't in anything. It was closed and then sent. Well, at the time, sent above, but technically it would be below where we currently are.
Right. I think perhaps if I look at this from a generous perspective, there were a lot of things that you were not let in on about the whole putting me in a box thing.
I've been thinking about that since you've said what before. It stirred me so. At this point, he sets down a cup of tea in front of you and in front of Eva. I believe your statement is quite true. I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
Well, we can explain it this way. Lot of fun running through that temple, opening all the doors and getting the path cleared out. But upon approaching the ritual space, there was a red spectral chain that decided to come out of the dream space and pull us into it.
Specifically me. Went through some
Did it
other people.
go- So it went for you.
Right.
Interesting.
And of course, because we don't leave our people behind,
Right.
as we followed, we were in dream space with sigils everywhere. Some almost two different sets. Like,
And see, he kind of like sits back in his chair, just like he's listening, but you can tell you can see there are gears
yeah.
turning in the mind.
They're not
To the
quite
Decepticon in disguise.
overlapping, but the
Kill him.
You
Sorry,
instantly hear.
oh god. They didn't overlap, they offset each other, but both sets were on the floor. And a large ruby phoenix statue in the center with, and she kind of just motions to Red,
Gold
her
box.
box sitting there,
Within it.
encased entirely. And two very hostile fire guardians on either side of it.
And they wouldn't listen to me either, so I don't think that they're at my old self's behest.
They might be now. I'm not
Mhm.
quite sure.
Possible.
Since we had to fend off the guardians in order to leave the space, since we didn't want to be there.
Right.
Well, in the name of science,
I felt like the box was trying to draw me in.
so she went in
Well,
with the doctor.
if he starts to talk, then just trails off.
It was less than a minute for the others. But I'm fairly certain, with a reasonable amount of accuracy, that it was about 20 years for me. And I felt what she feels. If you can imagine that.
I cannot. But knowing what I know of that creature
Mm-hmm.
could not have been pleasant.
20 years. Every moment she's in that box is torture. Claws, teeth, slashing. 20 years is an awfully long time for that.
You see there's
And-
a moment where he falters and almost drops his drink. But he's able to maintain a semblance of composure. He just very slowly sets the cup down. And I helped put it there.
No. If you are to be believed, which the better part of me thinks you should be believed, you did not know that I went into the box unwillingly, which is another thing I found out while we were there. I was under some sort of, I don't want to say compulsion, or suggestion. I can't quite put my finger on the word for it. Some incredibly powerful spell that kept me from...
It would have to be to affect anything near what, pardon my choice of words, to affect anything near what you were, have to be
Right.
insurmountable.
Right. Well,
Not impossible.
right. I saw through my own eyes, felt my own feelings, relived that part of it, and I was screaming inside to be let go. I did not go into the box willingly. Which makes it all the more imperative that we get me out and figure out how to get rid of the Everhunger.
Pardon my thought process. What will replace you?
Nothing for now. I'm hoping that at some point we can figure out a way to get rid of that entity. Meaning, I would no longer be necessary.
You find a way to get rid of that thing. Yeah, that's a trial not even the deities could overcome.
They don't have
What?
the same.
One thing I've learned about individuals like you, you're crafty. And the paler one seems smart, so I'm sure he could help figure something out.
Right. He got trapped in the box too. I'm not quite sure what he went through.
Oh,
But if it was anything similar to what I went through, he's going to take a moment.
that is fine. These calculations of just trying to reestablish a semblance of contact so you could at least have memories or something.
Right.
It is vexing. You see, there's like actually, like for the first time, a little like flash of anger at him trying to figure out what glyphs and magic he needs.
Eva dear, how much of the glyphs from there do you remember? Perhaps maybe some of those glyphs might help out?
The dice say none.
None. Cool.
The dice say none.
Player remembers, Eva doesn't.
Right.
It
She's
was a blur.
kind of,
It was a 45-second blur.
yeah, basically. Gotta remember that whole encounter was less than 2 minutes.
For you!
Yes, I know. For me. You're asking me, dear.
Yeah.
No, Eva just kind of shakes her head at it. She was kind of more focused on all of us not dying.
Right.
It did get very hot when I stepped on some of them. I will say that much. I don't know if that had any meaning or, cause and effect, but
Don't either, but if I was someone of questionable moral intent and I wanted to keep people away from something that was incredibly important,
Mm-hmm.
I would protect it.
Right.
apparently I can't just break it either.
You didn't try to break it, did you?
Oh,
Tried. Luckily, that statue is very impermeable.
right.
I don't want to think what would happen.
I don't either.
Well, I'm
But-
running out of options and patience, honestly. So, while I understand the whole end of the world thing and I have a child keeping that at bay, it won't last.
Then I suggest your crew get to work on figuring out a way to either find a new home for the calamity within, find a way to completely destroy it.
Right. I think we've got a bead on destroying it. Hopefully. That would be best case scenario, honestly. I'm not sure there's any way to keep it contained without more sacrifice.
There's always a way. The problem is the cost.
Right.
So, sorry, side question, since you actually brought it up. Are we just concerned about this plane or all the planes?
The material plane now stands as the first and only defense the rest of the planes have. If you
Right.
are to believe the lore written of the Everhunger, he will consume all. And if you were a creature of fresher release, you probably start with the prison that kept you, and then just work your way outward from there.
Right. So letting it out destroys literally everything.
Everything.
Right. Won't send it to the astral sea then. Note.
No.
It may help hold things over for some time. But inevitably, it needs a prison. Or,
Or destruction.
again, please, you are more than welcome to find one.
Right.
But, and he stands, I'm afraid you won't find one down here. You'll have to travel, just kind of looks up. There may be things that made it off the deep. I don't know.
Right.
There are dozens upon dozens of stories of incredible relics and things that could help. Where to even start? What made it to the sky? I couldn't tell you. But,
Right.
again, your crew seems crafty.
I think I've probably asked before, but it bears asking again. Is there anything that I can do to help perhaps clarify some of the things you're looking into for the spell?
Not at this moment.
Right.
How do I put this? And he goes over to his completely full scrawling of paper and just like starts turning the crank to get some more like fresh paper. He grabs this thing. Imagine if you wanted to find a point anywhere on the material plane.
Right.
You need 7 things to find.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts 6 dots in a little bit of order on his paper. And then he draws lines connecting each of them together. And eventually there's a middle point, and he puts a little star on it.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to find.
Hmm.
You, and he goes to the complete other side of the desk and puts a little stick figure with little flames around it.
I love that.
You are my beacon. And he draws a line connecting the 2 points.
Right.
I can use you in the center of the ritual. If you've already been in the box recently,
Right.
then perhaps we can hope that of you which is in the box will find you. We can find the box, establish a link, and if I am lucky enough and I can find the ingredients in the equation, maybe I can establish a there's a term for it. A drip feed
Right.
to where it will skim just enough to not weaken the barrier,
Right.
but begin to give you back what you're missing. I would love to redeem myself and just let you have yourself back. But we cannot allow the calamity to be released. But if your crew, your allies, can find something of equal or greater power to put there, that would be its own potential solution.
Right.
Of course, don't get me wrong, I would love to find a way to completely eradicate the Everhunger. But I just don't know if there is one. My life is here, and he just points towards the floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall books. I am not a man of faith.
Right. Oh, something of small consequence. On one of the pillars out there, I saw me like this. Me. And I know this was not a hallucination, and it sounds like it is, but it reached out and touched my hand. There was a flash of light. It cried black tears and then vanished.
That is a natural 20 on an Arcana check. Just kind of looks over at you. The Everhunger is synonymous with a consistent black liquid. It uses it to pierce its way through various things, realms, dreams.
Right.
Weapons?
Mm, it has no need for weapons.
Perhaps weapons as a source of infection almost?
If someone could do that, I mean, the
It could
wielder would not
already.
last long.
Right.
When Doc is sound, you and him should.
Right. You should absolutely talk to
Right.
him about that.
Apparently,
But-
there's first black blades of black ichor running around, so not sure if that's.
That is most disturbing. And I am thankful I am down here now.
It's very scary.
Right.
But
Mm.
that aside, perhaps your time in there has already established some semblance of a longing or a link, a hope. And that of you, which is in the box, took that form to try to get to you, try to find you. It is hard to say.
Right. Well, that would make sense, I suppose. All right. Well, since I cannot be of any help here and I'm only a distraction, I should probably go.
Get some rest. Even with your friend's help, it will take time.
Right. I'll try to see if I can close my eyes without wanting to scream.
I have an idea for that.
And he turns and goes over to one of his little jars and brings it over. Here. Hands it to you.
Right. What is this?
Get from Ember. When I actually want to experience unconsciousness and sleep. Take some in tea.
Ah. Tea. Got it.
Or just hot liquid, it helps dissolve it.
Right. Hot is not a problem for me.
There's.
Thank you.
It is. And
For
long
what
list of
it's-
things to fix.
Right. For what it's worth, I do believe you didn't know that I was unwilling, so I don't hold you accountable.
When we've finished our business here, I can look into ways to control a creature of such power. I don't know if one's here, but
Right.
there are a few books I haven't read in a couple decades.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I would appreciate that.
Of course. Please, enjoy your sleep.
I think I might now.
It will be dreamless. It's unique.
Interesting.
I feel rested. It's just like it's as if you blinked You don't understand, you don't really realize that 8 to 10 hours passed. You feel rested, don't get me wrong. But you don't feel like you've slept.
Right.
It's kind of a... Have you ever been knocked on the back of the head really hard?
If you knew me at all, you would know the answer is yes.
It's like that. 1 minute you're conscious, take a few sips, the next, it's morning.
Right.
But again, you do feel rested. It's just odd.
Odd. Okay. All right. I appreciate that.
He nods. And he'll walk you out.
You ready, Eva?
Only if you are.
She will take Eva's hand and nod. I am now.
He heads back inside, and you can see as the bit of candlelight starts to slowly dim before it's just dark. You walk around the large lake through the horseshoe-shaped island before you find the space between Breeze's house and where Galen stays, where you have set up your tents and camp.
You ready to turn in?
Yeah.
Oh. Go check on Cass. I'll wait for you.
She's probably out cold already. She's
That's fair. All right. Does she see anyone else at the camp?
You do see Galen. You see
And-
he's a bit off because he's at his place, but he's in front of a fire, just
Right.
staring into it.
That's
poor
fair.
man. This poor man doesn't even know terror, and he's already terrorized.
Yes.
Yes, he has no clue.
Mm-hmm. Any of the other party members?
No, even with all the time you've spent, they have not arrived yet.
Lay down. Drakex will take care of them. And if not, we'll hear about it. Don't worry. He's not
Right.
exactly quiet.
Suddenly you hear thunder.
Funny you say that. Technically, I've had a short rest, correct?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Okay. What's going to happen is after the last duo left,
Mhm.
probably about like an hour and a half later, he would go back inside.
Okay, we'll get back to you in a minute. Times
Mhm.
are not matched yet.
Yeah, no, I know. I just want to let you know.
Okay.
Just as a side note, as they settle down for the night, because it is very dark, even
Mhm.
with the fire going, Eva will make sure her light cantrip stays up all night, regardless of whether or not Red passes.
Okay. It's a cantrip. It's easy enough. I usually make this call that if you want to use a cantrip longer, just consider yourself under concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't say it has concentration. Welcome. This is my table.
They also,
Yeah.
they also don't specify prolonged uses of cantrips, to be fair. So I feel like it's a fair deal.
Bam.
Yeah.
There you go.
She will try the tea.
It's very, very earthy. And then it finishes with that weird, like, have you ever had lion's mane? It's like drinking cashews, the taste.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
finish it, you're like, yep, that was different. And Eva, you watch as she finishes it and like, that was different. I don't really feel anything. And as she's talking, she's already like laying down, still talking. Like, I don't really feel any different. I don't see how this is gonna work.
Hey, Red doesn't snore.
Now she does.
You do tonight.
The side effect
Eva-
of the sleep potion. Don't worry.
Eva just pulls Red into her lap for the night and starts braiding her hair.
Oh,
Okay.
don't make her cry.
You get about 30 minutes into braiding her hair, and you see a very large and then not so large figure walk up to the camp at the very edges of your light cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
Zon just looks over to Eva, sees Red completely pass the fuck out. It's like,
You've seen Red sleep,
oh
and
yeah,
you know Red is the definition of sleep with one eye open.
oh yeah,
She is zonked.
oh yeah. She's just a limp noodle at this point. Drugs?
The best parent.
Right.
We have more. I'm just saying.
She looks over to Doc.
Dreamless, peaceful.
Fix them.
Maybe just for a few nights.
Until I process more of it.
Yeah. Son will get some water boiling on the campfire again. Make some tea.
How's she handling it?
I mean, about as well as one can. She feels it on her skin. She feels it in her mind. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that this won't pass easily. For either of you.
No. I don't think it will. But I have a lot to tell you, all of you, but I'll do so in the morning.
Of course. There's no rush. Apparently we have all the time in the world.
Doc, do you drink the tea?
I do.
Ludwig is on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bless you.
Eva. You watch as Doc takes it and starts to analyze it, and he starts talking about how it's tasty. He doesn't understand, he hasn't tasted it before. He's not feeling anything. He's not sure it's working. All the while he's saying this, he's already unknowingly crawling into bed, laying down and stretching, and then he's like, "Yeah, I don't think it's worked." Out.
Definitely stronger than the sleep
Love
tea
that.
I had.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we need more of this.
I think we have plenty.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll do for a few nights.
Yeah. How are you doing?
To borrow from Red's colloquial verbiage, I want to burn the world to the ground. But
Same.
my emotions can come later.
For
Not
now, we
worry
take care
about
of
me.
our own.
Hmm?
For now, we take care of our own.
Well, at least try and keep them in one piece.
As much as we can.
It's always one step forward and two steps back. Feels like we've gotten nowhere. We have nothing. We have no information. We have no leads anymore.
I mean, yes and no. We have where she was put into the cube. We have where it is. We know that. We know we can come back here.
Can we even leave yet?
I mean, we left. It's a bit, daring to do so, but it's possible.
If we leave without that coin, we're not coming back.
Yes, that is true. But I have a feeling after all of this, I think we've found what we were looking for. The start to a change. The start to a path that we know we need to go down. A way to, or more questions on how to, stop this creature and get everybody away from being a power source. It's a start. Can't have all the answers in one place. That would make life too easy. Life's a bitch. It'll always be a bitch. And unfortunately, we have to live with it. But usually there's hope at the end of your life. Who knows?
Does that mean red is renewable everlasting, bitch?
Apparently.
Hush you, you're asleep.
Yeah. You're a limp noodle.
In her sleep, she mumbles.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, I would expect nothing less from her, really, at this
That's
point.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else for those at the campsite?
Zahn has pulled Doc into the tent and made sure that he's comfortable. Shoes off, cloak off, blanket on, all that jazz.
Okay.
But she's gonna wait for Drakix.
Eva will go all 4 watches.
Okay.
She doesn't need sleep.
As you get him in the bed and take off all the magical items, the things not needed for sleep, you really get a first-hand look at the age recently placed upon him, the true physical age.
Mm-hmm.
He's calling you old now.
Yeah.
I've always been mentally older than Brandon. You gotta know this.
Yeah.
Just remember, you can't ask him how old he is. That's taboo.
She just kind of it's both saddening but also not concerning. I don't know how to put it. A number's only a number, mentally, she knows where he is. And her own life, she never thought, she knows she's not going to live long. She's brazen, she's reckless, she's a barbarian. She knows at some point she's either going to die in battle or succumb to injuries, so it is what it is.
Considering her faith in her clan, she can only hope.
Mm-hmm.
My question: how do my scars look?
Scars
I have a lot of them.
have the appropriate, I would say healing, but just fading.
Okay.
Would equate to that age.
I was curious about that.
Frakix,
Mm-hmm.
as you have taken a moment to breathe, sit down, rest, you feel some of your divine strengths returning to you.
After that time, he's gonna take a deep breath, turns around, looks at the entrance, and walks right back in.
Okay.
And he goes straight over to where the well was, to the
Okay.
room of rest. And he sits down right near the Jinn statue.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes a breath. I'm taking a gamble. I know you're still here. You're clearly watching over her from somewhere, somehow, in some shape. And I have questions that I hope I can get answered, or at least a guidance to help ease her burdens.
Make a persuasion check.
I'm throwing a D4. That is a 17. I'm okay with that.
17?
17.
Okay. There's a moment where the sand that is very slowly, but ever consistently in a twister around the statue seems to almost stop moving, and it comes together to coalesce into a small shape about the size of your own head. And it is just the front, like, mask portion of a face.
Mm-hmm.
A very familiar face that you have seen throughout this place. And
I want to help her. However, that may be, if it's breaking her out, breaking you out, breaking the other one, or finding a way to replace them, even if it means putting myself in that position. And if I said that in front of them, she would find a way to roast me alive. But they are mine. And I will not let anyone hurt what is mine.
sadly, you lack the strength needed to replace her, and I the skill required to make such a swap. But there is one on this place that can do this for you. Just need to find something to replace her. But chance does favor the bold. And you hear at your feet as two solid platinum diamond encrusted dice land.
What would I do with these? At least a hint, so that way I can gamble. And as he's reaching and grabbing them in his hands. Not a question.
You grab them, you
Mhm.
immediately feel something dig into you on a level of the soul.
Okay.
Before I can wager, I need to know what you want to win.
Her freedom to be who she wants to be.
I'm afraid you don't have the collateral required.
And what kind of collateral would that be? Because I will find a way to get that, even if it means I must become the enemy to all that exist.
"20 years, and I'll give you a solution. It won't be what you're seeking. I can't grant her freedom, but I can put you on the path, and I promise it will be a good path.
And he's going to sit there, not even blinking an eye. Go ahead.
20 years on the table. Throw your choice.
I'll make that wager.
Okay. Do you throw your dice?
He throws the dice.
Roll 2d6.
Drax!
A total of 4.
Oh.
3 and a 1 to be exact.
Total of 7.
Mm-hmm.
What is your demeanor? What is Drax's demeanor as he
In
throws
this moment,
Absolutely, yes.
in this moment, he is willing to tear heaven and earth for his crew. This is his true domineering nature in front of him. He's all jokes in front of them, but the moment that somebody has wronged them, hurt them, this is the side that he rarely shows. This
What?
is his true self.
What is your wisdom modifier?
A goose egg?
What is your charisma modifier?
A +4.
Actually, no. This is much more suitable for this role.
Mm-hmm. Listen, all right, he ain't the smartest one of he ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's definitely the most useful.
You throw your dice,
Mm-hmm.
and you see an exact opposite pair of dice fall as well. As they fall on a 5 and a 2. Yours land on what again?
3 and a 1.
You watch the 1 tip. And it tips to a 5. And you hear, well, isn't that just interesting? Seems you've won. I'm sure in the panic of things, it seemed like the best choice. Of course, we came forward. We volunteered ourselves. Or did we? I have certainly cut that bit of consciousness away so I don't have to experience the screams. They're just non-stop. But she is looking to get herself out of that. You're going to need one hell of a source to stuff into the box. Perhaps in your journeys you've run into somebody quite deserving of consistent torture, being slowly eaten, but never truly able to be consumed, as they are consistently immortal.
I already have a name that pops up into my head.
Now, told you I would set you on the path. Your luck, of course, comes at a price. Follow your heritage, ye of draconic blood, and you will find the tools needed.
So be it.
Take care.
And he starts to get up and he goes, I don't remember catching your name.
See, there's
What?
a cost.
I
I
know,
don't have one anymore.
but as a thank you,
Jin
would you
is
like?
fine.
He goes, "That's a title.
You're not wrong. but
What
it's
would
a
you
good one.
like to be called?"
Jin
As
is
someone who comes as a friend to my crew, I can't just call you by a title. Would you prefer I give you one?
fine. I have an answer to this. Give me a moment. Why don't you call me Jaxal?
Thank you, Jackson. I
That
already know
name.
who.
You've
Mhm.
heard that name before,
Okay.
but you don't know where. But you've heard it. It is incredibly familiar. And what's interesting is you don't
Mhm.
realize it until after you're already almost back to the entrance and leaving this place. He said his name in Draconic.
Then at that point, he would just stop and just turn back and be like, wait, some mysteries are better to be found on their own. And then at this point, from the entrance, he would tilt his head in thanks and then head back to the camp.
Leviathan,
Hey.
do you wait up for Drakix?
Yeah.
Another roughly 2 hours pass.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's night, morning. You don't know.
Who the fuck knows?
But he shows up. Probably promptly passes out, if I had to guess.
He would definitely get himself comfortable and then just nod and just slowly pass out as normal.
With all those asleep who wish to be asleep, let's go ahead and take our break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, y'all. Thanks for hanging out for the first half. We appreciate it. We're going to go get some snacks ourselves, and we'll see you in 10. Oh, you sent us back.
Yes, yes.
No warning, no nothing. Thanks.
Hey, I'm
Welcome
not
back,
Kelby.
everybody. My name's Brandon. I'm here to be your GM tonight because I am always on point. So, getting back into it. All of you enjoy the benefits of a long rest.
Woo.
Now, your wake-up times will be a bit later than others. But for the most part, mid-morning comes. You all generally wake up to the smell of some kind of a meal being prepared. The sound of a child laughing, someone talking, a conversation being had, and as you all kind of come into consciousness and look around and kind of gather the details, you can see Breeze and Galen are just having a conversation as they prepare food. Cass is running, playing, enjoying herself. And you catch a bit of conversation here and there, mostly that the general feel is we're going to take care of breakfast today. Breeze probably got a very, very short version of even what Galen has of a short version.
I'm pretty sure it was shit went down. They are
Not basically.
they are not mentally sane currently. And Breeze went, that's too much, but okay. And immediately turned around and wanted to make food.
I will say, Eva, as you don't need to sleep, you do notice that as like Galen is recounting what he can, there's just a coffee mug in Breeze's hand and a questionable small amber bottle. He's just slowly pouring more and more as he's talking.
At this point, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
So you,
Right.
Eva, actually, you would have been privy to the whole conversation. And again, it is just a very incredibly, like, not even like, it's like a 10,000 yard view of what happened down there. And Breeze is like, okay. And he just started coming out with set up to put a pot on, made a small campfire, caught the fish, brought them back.
Okay.
Zahn is
But you all
probably
awake to the smell of coffee because he does not know where you keep your coffee or even what it is.
Zahn probably waits for Doc to wake up, and she'll go out with him whenever he feels like it.
Depends. When's the tea let me wake up?
Right?
I'd say probably about 9 to 10 hours later.
Okay, because Doc's the early riser of the group.
Typically, yes.
Typically.
Typically.
Hey, Red's gonna be up before Doc this time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By about,
30,
Yeah,
40
by
minutes.
about 30
About
minutes.
30 minutes, yeah.
Zahn's awake before
Red,
Doc.
you just wake up. Not like rushed or startled or like slowly. Like it's just literally a light switch. Just on, off.
Wait,
On.
is it still mid conversation?
No.
Does she go right back to the same thing?
You wake up, you're like, yeah, I didn't feel anything. Wait a minute.
The light looks different. Right. So,
You feel incredibly refreshed, but again, it's very weird.
right.
Because you feel like you just blinked. That's it.
We need to get more of this.
We have more of this. He gave you quite a substantial amount.
Right. Oh, right. We need to figure out what plant is in here. You know,
I'm pretty sure Doc is already going to be on that. Don't worry.
true.
He has to know everything.
Also true. All right. Slept a lot better than I thought I would.
I don't think you had a choice, dear.
Right.
How are you this morning? How do you feel?
I mean, if you're talking physically, I'm fine. If you're talking mentally, I still probably need to process. What even really is there to process, though? I don't know. If I think about it too long, I can still feel it, so...
That's part of processing.
Right.
Whether you choose to lean into that or not is entirely up to you, but that is still a part of it. Deciding what you want to do going forward.
Right. I think we sort of have a clear path, don't we? I mean, Doc's blood should be able to help us somehow. We just need answers from that, right? What I will say is I don't want to let it out without some sort of guarantee. Or I don't want to come all the way out without some sort of guarantee that it will stay in. Otherwise, the
Doomed of
sacrifice... Right, and the sacrifice that was forced upon me, her, will mean nothing. So, before I come out of the box, there needs to be a solution, unfortunately. Just, the quicker the better, probably. And I'm not even sure that I could subject another sentient being to that sort of torture. Even as vindictive as I am, I don't think...
Oh, there's definitely a little spot in there. When we find out who did this in the first place, somebody is burning in hell for eternity.
Right. I mean... But that's not as fun. Someone else is doing the hurting.
For now.
For now. Right.
Well, I can't make any promises, but I've heard hugging a child is a great remedy to pain.
Red,
Yes.
as you're having this conversation and the
Oh, jeez.
process of consciousness is coming through to you, and you're realizing that I'm awake, had a great sleep, I'm having conversation.
Yeah.
You feel something within you has changed.
Oh, shit.
Something has grown. I need you to go to the notes portion of your character sheet.
Uh-huh.
Be ready to type.
Okay, give me a sec.
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
Expression of Arcanum.
Oh. Okay.
You may expend 8 sorcery points and incur 1 level of exhaustion
Mm-hmm.
to add 4d6 fire or lightning damage to any spell you cast.
May spend 8 sorcery points and incur 1 level of exhaustion to add 4d6 fire or lightning to any spell.
Yep.
Cool. Cool. Okay.
As you
Alrighty then.
feel through your trials, there has been some brief reconnection to the you that is in the box.
I do feel a little different. I mean, anybody who'd experienced that for 20 years would feel different, but almost like I've reclaimed a small part of myself. Not as much as I want, obviously, but I feel a little more me. But I don't even know if that makes sense. I don't even know what I'm supposed to feel like. It's hard to describe.
You don't have to tell me.
Right.
Creepy monster of the night quite well understands that feeling. I just lean into it, honestly. It's kind of a vibe. Be the boogeyman.
It helps that you're my sort of creepy. I don't want you going anywhere. That also sounds so wrong when I say it. I don't. You're someone that makes me happier and helps me work through things. And I very much care for you, very much love you. I don't. I don't know what it is I'm trying to say.
Don't have to. It is very much mutual. But the next time you end up in a box of pain and torture, I'm not going to let it go so easily.
Right. That's understandable. I wouldn't either. Thank you.
Thank you. Woof, woof. I don't know if you can hear him in the background.
Tiny bit. Should we? Should we go and get some coffee? Should we stay here for a little bit? What do you want to do?
Before or after I burn the world to the ground?
With me at your side, hopefully.
Well, duh, I don't make fire myself.
Fair point. Fair point.
There's no fire magic here. Actually, there is, but not really.
Right.
What do you feel like doing? As I said, there's a free child over there who would really love some attention.
Right.
At this point, because breakfast is basically handled, she may or may not allegedly be playing sword fighting with Captain Priest. And he is way overselling it.
Oh, yeah. I expect nothing less from him.
That's fair. Perhaps we grab some breakfast and watch, and then maybe when she gets bored. I don't even know what to do with children. What? I don't know.
Good. Go watch while you eat your breakfast. Learn. That'll give you something to do.
Right, I really should.
New
Ask
homework.
Breeze
Child care.
questions. He raised Drakix. He has to know something about raising a child.
Also fair. His
I feel like the
parenting
moment-
style also strikes me as something
I feel like the
I could
moment
do.
Eva said that, instantly, it's really just, why aren't you cleaning the deck properly? I see a smudge here. Face into deck. Do you not see this smudge? Clean it until you can see your reflection.
Yeah, Drakus is probably sitting back like, she's got it so easy.
Remember this. Jack would remember. Recall, she took those memories too.
Well, no, you remember it. You just don't remember who it was
You
telling
remember
you.
somebody doing that too. You're like, I don't know who that
Yep.
asshole was.
I mean, I wish Breeze was like that. I wish the guy was like Breeze.
Yeah.
I wish that guy was like Breeze.
Cold-blooded.
But Eva just takes a moment. Doesn't really bother with food, drink. She doesn't need any of it. Because she's a freaking vampire and a warlock. And even though she doesn't go far, she definitely walks a little ways away. And she doesn't really have a connection with that cleric side of her yet, with the deity that she's trying to reach out to. But she knows she was given the amulet, her holy symbol, and basically just using that, she'll kind of reach up to it as it hangs along with her warlock amulet. And basically kind of using the knowledge of the dream realm where she knows she can reach out using her will, she's going to try and reach into a connection with either the Grey King or this champion being that found her before. And she asks a prayer to try and help Red's mind be safeguarded from whatever effect is trying to reach to her. And it doesn't have to have a visual effect. She doesn't know if anything happens, but that is something she just takes a minute to do before she rejoins.
I just need a moment. Checking something.
Meanwhile, the DM forgot where his notes were
Give
in order
me-
to figure out which part
No,
of this
I
is what
was-
makes sense.
Trying to figure out which skill check to ask for. Give me a perception check.
Okay, not horrible at those, right? Fuck. That's an 8.
Take it on faith.
Yeah, good enough for her.
Okay.
And then she grasps the warlock amulet and is like, I am going to burn this motherfucker to the ground. I am going to annihilate and disintegrate this sire into pieces. And if I am stopped one more freaking time, you are going to help me burn this world down. And that's it.
And that goes out to
The patron.
patron. There is, to you, an audible little goblin chuckle.
She expected it. And it just fuels her hatred even more that she has to deal with this creature that has given her her power.
Drakex.
Mm-hmm.
How's your morning going?
Drac is currently awake, having breakfast. He's kind of sitting apart from everybody for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Has a small little book out and is currently writing. But it's all in Thieves' Cant, a mix of so it's just like it looks like a shopping list.
I love it.
If anybody looks at it, it's just like things that we need to buy.
Eva
A
peeps
head
over.
of cabbage.
Eva peeps over. Can you add gems to that list, please?
Sure.
I will tell you, like,
Potions.
just real quick, like, really super above the table. Like, my favorite, like, thought process of Thieves' Cant is Full Metal Alchemist and putting their alchemy in cookbooks.
Mhm.
That is my favorite use.
Really, in all honesty, it's like he would eventually tell them what his plan is,
Mhm.
but for the time being,
Yeah, no.
he's just putting his thoughts on paper, and it just looks like a grocery list, you know?
Yep, make a wisdom saving throw.
Jeez. You know, the goose egg one.
That's a 17. No, my wisdom saving throws are really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just my wisdom sucks.
Ah.
As you are writing this list,
Uh-huh.
you don't remember when you turned the page to get to a new page.
Okay.
You did. And then as you were conversing with Eva or the others, your hand, that Dragonborn claw, just kept writing and just kept going on its own without even you realizing it.
Uh-huh.
When you get back to it, you can see there is a way beyond your level of skill sketch of you holding your rapier in a forward thrusting motion with various notes about how you could call upon your divine power to assist in empowering your strikes. Please go to the notes section of your character sheet. Everyone's getting one.
Holy shit.
And I
Okay.
hope you like them.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and make it clear the section real quick. Hold on.
It may not be tonight, but everyone will be getting one with the new level up.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
The calm before the storm. When you activate sneak attack, you may consume a channel divinity, incur 1 point of exhaustion to deal an extra 4d6 of sneak attack. And that is on a crit.
So if I get a crit when I'm rolling sneak attack is when this goes into effect.
Right.
Okay.
You need to crit, and you need to be having sneak attack.
Okay. I need something to give me another thing of channel divinity now.
There's items for that.
I know. I gotta find an item for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're past due port side, honestly.
But you look over this and you're like, huh, that's really smart. Wait, who drew this?
it's my amulet that does. Why did it not tell me that?
When you find something 7 sessions later. I've been using my form of dread, and I'm like, oh wait, I get 2d.
Hey, Drac.
That's
God
not
damn
in my
it! I could
character
have used
sheet.
2 of.
Hey,
I could've
Drac,
used my
what's your amulet
teleportation.
do?
I could have used my teleportation and my blade.
You
God
know,
damn it.
yeah, you know that thing you keep bringing up every now and then that you have. You make sure we remember you're holding it.
Mm-hmm,
I'm like, I always have it. No, I have
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, and also he's putting away the ring of feather falling and putting back on his amulet and kind of
Right.
focusing on that for like the next hour just to reattune to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bud.
Tuning to that might be nice.
Okay. It's just fun.
Yeah, that's what Drax's doing. And now he's just going to kind of like practice the form without actually doing it. Just instead of using his rapier, he grabs a stick in case Cass accidentally runs in front of him. He's not dealing with that.
Writing notes, writing notes.
Mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. Many much notes.
All the notes.
Well, Drac, as you do that, you realize Galen is plating up and getting coffee set, and each of you who are currently out of your tent or sleeping area, a plate is handed to you along with a mug of coffee or tea.
He's gonna tell him thank you, and he sits down and starts to eat.
I figured you could do with one less thing on your plate today, so this is at least what I'm good for.
And Drac is gonna look him dead in the eye and be like, "That is a little bullshit. You were actually really good for a lot of things last night. Because if it wasn't for the fact that you were doing us the favor of writing down our path, we would never really have known where to go afterwards. So,
What will you all do now?
I believe he kind of like looks towards Red and Doc. The plan is to wait for them to do what they need to, and then go from there. While I think we should. Have you checked your coin sense last night? Just to see what happens?
No.
Because technically you found what you were looking for. Just
One can
try to.
hope.
Worst case scenario is it just stays on the ground. But just try it later. See what happens.
He kind of looks at his plate, looks at you all. They can wait.
Hey, wait, you're an Air Genasi, right? Galen?
That's correct, yes.
Have you ever just thought of, like, wisping your way out of here?
Oh. Yeah. And he pulls aside part of his tunic, and you see on his lower ribs a very familiar bite that's healed over.
Noted.
Right.
Didn't get very far.
Fair enough. Well, if we can leave, at least there's a ship on the other end for you this time.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Claire's like, wait, he's an air genasi. He has levitate.
Oh, he does.
There's a lot of risk going out there. Speaking from experience here.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
from experience here. Zon's got some new scars. Doctor's got some new scars.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's less skin, more scar on Doc at this point. If you want to be
Probably.
Definitely.
he's like Geralt, basically, just
Yeah.
scars.
like I'm the wizard form of Geralt.
Yeah.
Finally matching Zon.
I mean, a couple of them are from Zon, to be fair.
Oh.
I would say they're the most treasured to Doc.
Oh.
Okay, that made up for
Good.
it.
To be fair,
Good
you did
catch.
pierce his heart
Yep.
more
Yep.
ways than one.
That is true. Oh boy.
I'm not letting Meg the player let that down for a bit.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
I'm just saying there's a word for when you fall in love with the person who hurt you.
I'm aware.
Oh boy.
Just waiting for Doc and Zon to get up, basically.
Yeah, I was waiting for my point where I can be like, oh yeah, he's awake.
Yes.
Eventually, Zon, as you are just enjoying peace
Mm-hmm.
or some semblance of it,
Being a
Doc's
big
eyes
spoon.
just
Bink.
open. Not in a surprise, not in a kind of way, just open. And Doctor, you pick right up your sentence. Yeah, I don't really feel anything. Wait.
Kind of looks around.
Good morning to you too.
Morning.
Yes.
I didn't know what's in that tea.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Catch it from Eva later.
Realize I'm in the tent because I didn't pass out in the tent.
Nope.
Yeah.
Is everyone else awake?
I think I hear them outside. I'm pretty sure there's breakfast because I smell it and I can feel my stomach growling.
And you hear a consistent light, like whack, 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 whack. Ooh, oh no! Ooh, ah,
I love that.
You get some food then. I'll get dressed real quick and
Yeah.
we'll be out there in a moment.
Absolutely. And she will kiss him and then go outside for some breakfast.
Okay.
Yes.
As soon as you get out, you are almost face to face with Galen, who is holding 2 plates. Oh, sorry. He just takes a step back.
Hi. Yep. He just
I was
woke up.
coming to knock on your
10.
tent.
Yep.
I realize now there's nowhere to knock on a tent.
Not really, unless you want to knock it over.
Nope. Here.
Yeah.
Are you hungry? He just holds the 2 plates up to you.
Do I look like I'm not hungry? Thank you. She'll take both of them. You good?
In comparison to, he just gestures broadly over
Yeah.
the rest over y'all. I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Glad I don't live your life.
Yeah. I'm glad a lot of people don't live our life, but I'm glad we had you there yesterday.
I'm glad people like you exist.
Thank you. I'm
That did sound like an underhanded compliment too.
yeah. Like, is it me? Is it because I don't know. I'm gonna go eat breakfast. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave you alone. And
Cool.
he just walks away because he
Gonna
doesn't know what to say.
Sure you don't want to spar?
He walks faster.
Yeah,
Ah.
that's what you do.
That is the correct response.
Yes,
Yes.
it certainly is.
But yes, she's going
Doctor.
to
hmm
sit down and eat.
After Zahn leaves, as you are getting dressed, you notice on the back of your hand where your birthmark resides, it has grown in size and shape.
Oh,
And you feel within you something has opened up, awoken, unlocked. You're unsure of the wording to use,
bloomed.
but you feel something within you has bloomed.
Excellent.
Okay,
When you are ready.
I'm good to go.
Death beyond life.
Okay.
When you reach 0 hit points, you may incur a point of exhaustion. And for every spell level slot you spend, you may immediately give yourself that many dice in temporary hit points from your hit dice pool.
Okay, can you say the spell slot part one more time?
For every spell slot level you consume. So if you use second level spell, you roll 2d whatever your hit dice is. You use a third level spell slot, 3d whatever your hit dice is. But they come to you as temporary hit points, not hit points.
Okay, so I get every spell slot level consumed. I get that many dice
In
Or
temporary
temporary.
hit points.
in
Up
temporary.
to a maximum of your available hit dice. So if you already use hit dice, you're kind of down that pool. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
But it is immediate and it takes place as soon as you hit 0 hit points. Should you so choose.
Okay. Really selling the I am a death defier.
Yes.
The way you want to go.
It is. I mean, the dice is where it wants me to go, apparently.
Mhm.
It's almost like he listens to his players.
Yeah.
Damnedest thing, huh? What makes me so good at my job? It's kind
Mm-hmm.
There's only one left.
Yeah.
Let's see if we reach that story point today.
It will come.
But as you're kind of contemplating this feeling and looking at your birthmark, barely 45 seconds to a minute later, Zom walks back in.
Still like staring at the birthmark.
Mhm.
Because for viewers who are unfamiliar, the birthmark is a rose petal. It's a rose, and when you say it's grown, I imagine like it is thorny spines wrapping around my wrist at this point.
Yep.
Because it's on the back
That
of
is
my
exactly
hand.
what I envisioned.
Yep. It's almost like you'd be looking at my tattoo artwork I want to get. Yeah. He is still dumbfounded by this because this defies everything he knows about birthmarks.
Mhm.
So clearly he's not a normal birthmark then. Which he never knew it wasn't.
Doc, you okay?
He just kind of shows his hand to you.
That
Feel better?
that's good.
I don't understand it.
Zon! Give me a
Hi.
history check.
Fuck. Why? Actually, no. I don't have a goose egg in it, so
Lucky.
I should not have said anything.
Oh no!
You
Should
really
not have-
shouldn't have.
It's not a
The
one.
great dice realized that you spoke ill of them.
What'd
and
you
said,
roll? Good talk. You may continue. Oh, there goes that lore page.
It'll come back later. Don't worry.
He was gonna rush back over there in like 5 minutes. Like, wait, hold on.
Wait, I need-
Someone else can do it. Someone else can use this. Yes, this is the thing.
Gets an iron to flatten it out.
Listen, if it's lore, it has to be in the one shot later, so he
Hmm.
needs it back.
Yes,
That's very true.
that is very true. Unless he's already written it down. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's good. Kind of concerning that it happened after all of this, but you know.
Yeah.
Can test it out later. I don't know what it is, but
I am not entirely okay. So, do I know the effect, Brendan? Like, consciously know the effect, or is this just something that we'll
You
have to find out when
feel-
it happens?
Oddly enough, you, with your understanding that most healing magic is considered, and it is in the school of necromancy,
Mm-hmm.
you understand that you have a bit of a different depth and perspective on how necromancy can do so much good when applied at the exact moment it's needed.
Yep. Still looking at his hand. I would hope I don't have to use it. But if I do, at very least there's one less thing for you to worry about me.
that's good. I appreciate that. Gotta keep
do
you
as well.
around. You're stuck with
She
me.
says until she realizes what it means.
Dun, dun, dun. Are you good, Brendan?
Yeah, I just realized one ear was like leaning back
slowly.
consistently, so I was like, let me just
Yeah.
get them corrected.
Mhm.
You know, like a certain bunny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I do want to tell everyone else, at least some of what I
Yeah.
went through.
Maybe eat some food first. She holds up
You know,
a
I-
plate.
He'll take it. You know, I hadn't eaten in 20 years. He starts digging in.
Despite the fact it's kind of odd to have fish for breakfast, it's actually really good.
Hmm.
Yes. Zahn sits down and scarfs hers down, as per usual.
Yep.
Not ladylike at all.
As is expected.
If she was, they'd all be like probably blades out. Who the fuck are you?
Not wrong.
But once we finish our meal, Doc would, presentation to clean the plates because that's what he
Okay.
does.
Yeah.
Should probably go talk to the others. There's some new insight that they might need to know.
Okay.
Red.
Yes.
As you are enjoying your breakfast, you are watching Captain Breeze incredibly poorly act and extremely oversell his glorious, legendary fight with Queen Cassandra, as he is the evil captain of the pirates, and she triumphs over him. And he eventually holds on to the stick she stabbed him with, ugh, ah, ooh, and he falls to his knees, He's like, I've been defeated, and he just falls over. And she's laughing, and you're trying your best. You are welcome to your player's agency to think what you want to think, but it's as you see it.
Yeah. She's trying very hard to figure out how to do that, but put her own flair on it. Because, I don't think quite. She wouldn't quite go that route with it, I think. She's really just. It's distracting her mind enough to keep it off of what happened in the box.
Mhm.
But she's still kind of just mulling things over. She knows that she's not going to come at it from the doctor's direction, where it's like teaching. But she also doesn't think she's quite playful enough to come at it
Sell it
from
as
Captain
Bree
Breeze's.
does. Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, another thing,
So
it's to you, it's astonishing that such a man, as you knew him,
Mm-hmm.
very, very cold, very calculating when he was basically, on the clock.
Right.
He was very business. He took care of things, and when he spoke, mountains moved.
Right.
But to see him down here, like this, make an insight check.
Okay.
I will say, this is important.
Oh. Good. We're gonna re-roll that then.
Roll with feeling.
Right? Hopefully it's not worse. Oh, it wasn't worse. It was absolutely worse. Oh god. Are you gonna limit how many times she can re-roll?
Is there a limit on the ability?
Nope.
Then I'm not.
Oh,
Well,
cool.
there is a limit. It's how many
Is
sorcery points she has.
Oh, well, I mean, of course,
Your
obviously.
limit.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't forget, you have your D4s as well.
I know. Okay, so it keeps going down by 2 every time. So this is gonna be the 4th roll.
Listen, eventually you hit 0 and then you go back up.
Exactly. Uh, you know what? We're gonna roll a d4 on that one, and we'll keep that one. Okay, that's 19.
With a 19, you're not entirely sure if he is here by choice or by force. You're not certain if his coin hasn't already come to him.
Okay. She wants to talk to him, but she's not going to interrupt his playtime with Cass.
And with time working the way it is, synchronizing events, about now is when Doctor and Leviticus Han come out with 2 clean plates and 2 clean mugs.
Right.
Cheater.
Cheater.
I mean, Red does it too.
I'm saving someone else to work. That's all it is.
That's fair.
I think the first person Doc would go to once he's out of the tent is to Drakex.
Okay.
He just sees him off on the side, just going through a form with a branch.
Mm-hmm. I want to apologize. I shouldn't have yelled at you last night.
You have your reasons. I overstepped, so you're fine. I should have been more careful and more thoughtful of what you possibly went through. So I am also sorry.
I could argue the semantics of this, but I feel like it would do either of us no good. So I accept yours if you accept mine.
I will. If not, who else am I going to turn to when I'm bleeding hysterically on the ground, possibly missing an arm?
I can cauterize things.
I can stitch it back on.
See? It's like, if I didn't have you two, who else am I going to count on to at least make sure that I'm patched back up? Zahn? She'd probably turn me into some kind of beast with an arm where my leg should be, or like my arm out of my head, as far as I know. Probably my leg coming out my ass, too, for the hell of it, and thinking that's the way that it's supposed to be.
It's your tail, right?
See? Exactly.
Not going to ask. Not going to ask.
You could roll an insight check on him if you really want to. because you are currently in front of him.
I'll roll one. Why not? Okay. So
Yeah, you
20.
can definitely tell there's a hell of a lot more going behind those words.
Mhm.
But he's not saying anything else. It's the meaning behind everything is there, clear as day, but he's just not saying it.
Just know we'll do the same for our captain.
I appreciate that. And I will do it for you guys every time, without question, without quarter.
That being said, I do have. I want to share some insight from my time in the cube. As I've heard a little bit what Red's been through, and I'm sure everyone else has heard a bit more. I can say that I went through something quite different.
I had an epiphany too, and we could also talk about that later.
Yes, we need to talk about everything to get our plans in order, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, I think we're all gonna love my epiphany, but anyway, we're just we'll get to that later. And he just starts to have like the most sadistic grin you've ever seen on his face at this point.
Uh, and just so you everyone's aware, as Doc is talking to Drakex, he's because he has his living gloves on, so they kind of hide the birthmark.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like he has skin. He's not wearing gloves because his skin, that weird skin
Yeah.
stuff, but it doesn't show the birthmark. And he's kind of like messing with his hand where the birthmark is
Mhm.
during this conversation. Well, I guess I can start with why I snapped at you.
You went through something traumatic and it triggered it. You don't have to say more. I understand.
Well, just know that it'll probably be a bit before I can accept no more voices in my head.
No worries. I will keep that to the barest of minimums and will only do it in the most dire circumstances.
I can work with that. I'll remember. It'll take me time, but I will eventually allow it again. Don't worry. That being said, I wasn't entirely alone.
Zahn was in there with
No, no.
Did you have a fan? Are you sure? Did you have kids too?
I heard
Mm,
my wife and daughter's voices were there, but not them.
and at this moment, he's just like, I'm trying to make light of this to make this feel
I
better.
understand.
And his face just like drops. He's just like,
It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. He like looks at
Just-
like he once again looks at the stick and immediately just starts poking the ground. It's like I'm just going to work on the hole now. And he just starts working on digging a hole for himself.
But as I said, I wasn't alone in there, and not in the sense of I know Red was technically there too. We were
Right.
separated. I had a visitor every year. He made me an offer every time.
Hmm.
You can imagine what I said.
Right.
Shove it up his ass because his captain would not allow me to go anywhere else.
Along those lines, you can say.
Okay,
Maybe
good.
maybe not as coherent.
That's okay. I'll say it for you next time.
Let's hope there isn't a next time.
Mm-hmm. Well,
There's going to be, probably for me.
and me. He was very interested in me, I can tell that much, but
The stick is going to poke Doc in the head, in the middle of the forehead. He's like, yeah, for that.
no,
Mhm.
not just that.
Oh, I know, but it's definitely one of your more endearing traits, as Zahn would say.
Yes.
I appreciate that, but it's
Hmm.
because I'm a danger to him.
So that's a little more confirmation.
It didn't react well to my blood.
Good.
It was usually the conversation ender. But that being said, it knows me. And probably has for quite a long time now.
Right.
I should also mention it has been messing with me before all this
Really.
with the Black Blade.
At
Sort
this
of,
moment is when Drac takes out his book, goes to his shopping list again, and in here is just make chocolate pudding.
Right.
But I will
for-
say this, over the table. Like, if anybody were to like really think about what he's talking about, it really says destroy Reese from all existence.
Well, the Flamekeeper, I'm sure, would like to see that blade.
I also, well, it's on our ship.
Right.
No,
Of course
I
it
keep-
is.
Well, since I removed its hold over me,
Mhm.
I've kept it locked away.
Probably for the best.
I agree. But I do want to speak with the Flamekeeper. I want to know if he has any insight to why I can do this. Why I can harm or even interact at all with it.
Well, he seems to think that it would be far easier to find something to replace my presence in the box than it would be to destroy the Everhunger, but perhaps after witnessing what your blood can do.
That opinion might change.
Right. And he might
Draco
have
slowly
opinions on how to
raises
harness
his
it.
hand.
Right.
We do know a near immortal, apparently.
We do.
His name begins with a P and he kind of ends as a form of food.
Right. Are we sure?
No, but if anybody's going to suffer anything, that's a prime candidate.
Well, I'm not entirely certain he's immortal.
I don't care. We
Well,
could throw
I
him into the pit.
do.
We
His
put him in. Well, I found there is a way to test to make sure.
he's immortal
Yes,
in the
it's called
sense
kill
of
him again.
yes. Vampires are immortal in the sense of they can't not die of age or sickness, but they can die.
Tell me about
Your patron, perhaps?
my patron. No. He's too smart for that. He wouldn't go anywhere near that thing with a 10-foot pole. He's Artfey. My sire, on the other hand, who is not one and the same,
Right.
I don't.
No.
Oh, and there's a very good chance we'll see him again soon.
Of course.
Because in order to try and get us out, I had to expose myself. Which failed miserably, so that's wonderful. Meg, be nice to the cat. He's biting me. Yes, he's a kitten. That's what he does.
Drac is going to look at them all and decide at this point that he's going to be as candid as possible. So I spoke to Jaxel,
Who?
the Jinn.
Right.
After you all left, I went back And I decided to gamble one last time.
Did you win?
I didn't suffer,
It's not an answer.
but I did. And I found out a couple of things, once again. If we can get another immortal creature into her cage, we can do a swap. Jaxel himself cannot do it, at least he does not have the capability currently. So maybe the Flamekeeper can do it when we get that chance. But he did mention me following my path as a Dragonborn
Right.
to gain abilities that might help.
You
So-
never really talk about it. Where would that lead?
He just said continue following. And we knew that after we were going to go here, we were going to stop at Hasbin. So
Right.
maybe there's clues there. Or maybe something along the way will point me to where we should go. By the way, do I still feel the dice by chance, or are they just gone?
How to put this? When you think on it and focus, something is different about you.
Okay. So he's not going to mention any of that, so never mind. Okay, yeah. That's about it. That's all he has.
Okay.
Well, I do think I need to go talk to the Flamekeeper. I was wanted to talk to him about it anyways, but I wanted to get this all sorted out with Red first.
Right.
Perhaps you should both go.
Well, we're both entangled in this, so I feel that is appropriate.
Of course. I told you all what happened to me, right?
I heard pieces of it, but I can gather enough based on meeting the creature.
So. Because I didn't tell you, Drakkix, I don't think. I was also in there 20 years. And I felt what my other self feels. Constant torture. Constant claws, teeth, screaming, pain. And that was less than a minute of real time, but 20 years in there. If we do something before destroying the Everhunger, we have to make sure it's going to work. I will not let however many millennia in the box of my other self going through all of this, it's going to mean something. Even if I didn't want it, even if I was an unwilling participant, especially if I was an unwilling participant, we have to be sure.
Drac is just going to give her a smile and be like, don't worry. We will manage. We will find a way.
Right. I did also manage to recover a small part of myself. Not memories or anything, and not anything as grand as my phoenix form, but perhaps a little more oomph to my spells? In times of need, anyhow.
Like a last resort type of thing?
Right.
Yes.
Although this one will blow up enemies, not allies.
That
That
is
is fair.
an important distinction.
Right.
At least I don't have to worry about accidentally being blown to smithereens by you, but that's good to know.
No, I'm pretty sure that one's still in effect. Just, additional.
A second.
Right.
Got it.
At this point, Doc will look at Dragix. Also, this could be a side quest if we want it to be, but I would like to try find out who my parents are at some point, because it might actually help us in destroying the Everhunger, but it's also just I have questions that need answers at this point, and being that they're part of Reese is kind of the difficult part of it.
Am I allowed to destroy them afterwards when you're done and you have
The-
the answers that you seek?
Depends on the answers. Because we might.
Can I cut off their tongue? And we have Red sear the wound so that way they don't die. Well, after you get your answers, of course.
Right. Answers first.
Answers first, and then maim and revenge for crew.
At the most, we'll need to drain them of their blood anyways.
Do.
So we're allowed to maim and torture when we're done.
Right.
And
After
you're
answers.
Again, it depends on their answers, but yes, if they don't give me us good answers, and or blood does what mine does,
Mhm.
have at it.
Thank you. And there was like ripples of electricity going along his form, and like both excitement and just like I can't wait, you know. And then he just kind of like takes a couple of minutes, and they just kind of like die down like children going back to sleep, you know.
Right.
Well, no, my blood's the reason they abandoned me, but hard to say.
Your blood has to come from them.
It has to, but they're also highly involved in they might be very well involved in the Black Blades.
Also true.
And them having something that is resistant to it would kind of counteract the one of them.
I have more questions now.
Now you know what I mean.
It's kind of almost a circle.
Almost. There's a few missing parts, but we're close.
We are. Right. Well, what I do know is we should probably, those of us that are helping the Flamekeeper, be on about that, and perhaps the rest of us clear out the rest of the temple? Or just leave it as is?
Do you
How
want
much-
it cleared?
How many paths do we not go down?
DM?
I want to say 4 passage, 4 doors we haven't gone through.
Ish.
Technically,
It is difficult to say.
Right.
We have a map.
So-
I'm just always asking.
You looking at the map you have, you could gauge maybe. Sure, doctor, because you're probably gonna be the one that's gonna look at this the hardcorest. Give me intelligence check
Okay.
as I go look at the map.
Oh, that was a bad roll.
Ugh.
that's a save. That's not a check.
No, that's a check. Oh wait, when
Nope.
I didn't save, I clicked the actual intelligence thing.
You're welcome.
Wait, no, that's the actual check because if it was a save, it'd be a plus 10.
Well, it said intelligence save.
It does
Yeah.
say save. That's
Yeah, so-
interesting. So, anyways,
Yeah.
9 total.
Mhm.
Let me retrace your path real quick. You guys went there, there, there. Then that be outlined. You feel you've maybe scratched half the temple.
Jeez.
Honestly, that's what the player was thinking too, actually.
Mm.
If you want to explore the rest, I do recommend caution.
Right.
Dang, I was just
And-
gonna run in there.
And no going to the center anymore.
Right. No. Not anytime. Well,
No.
not until the Flame Keeper's finished.
I'm hoping we got rid of most of the more tricky puzzles.
Right. Your intelligence is needed elsewhere.
I need to speak with the Flamekeeper and get him as far as long as I can with the
Right.
ritual.
Of course.
Okay. So Red and Doctor heading to the Flamekeeper.
Mhm.
Drakix.
If the others are not going to go back into the temple, Drac is going to talk to Breeze about getting some rapier lessons, which is
Easy enough.
would be him just solidifying his swashbuckler background.
Okay.
That's how I'm going to play that out. So yeah.
Gotcha. Ludwigazan?
I mean, if we're deciding not to go in, which it sounds like we're not.
Hey, if the two of you say yes, then he's going in. It's just he's trying to be nice and not be like trying not to like make the decision for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that's what captains do. If
Yeah, but this one's also thoughtful of you guys, you know.
True. That is true. Zon does, but at the same time she's like, there's so many other things to do on the island.
Mm-hmm.
And really Red didn't give an indication if she wanted the rest of it explored or if she wanted it done or whatever. So she's like, I'm just going to go talk to Ember. See
Okay.
how the plants are doing. Maybe
Find potatoes.
Eva?
Eva makes sure that Cass is thoroughly entrenched in this rapier knowledge that Drac is gaining from Breeze. And she will take a little bit of time to herself. And she walks away from Breeze's house, away from the camp, and just trying to find a space where nobody and nothing else is around.
Okay. You do find such a space. As you get closer to the center of the shoehorn, kind of on the way back to the Flamekeepers, you do see there is a bit of like debris, toppled over stone walls, maybe small, half crumbled in rooms or stone buildings at one point. You do find a place that people just don't live in.
Is it dangerous if launched?
Dangerous if launched?
Yes. Like, if she were to throw it like 60 feet, 100 feet, is it gonna hit anything?
What?
I think she misunderstood you.
Like,
What
she
do you...
basically just wants a space where she can...
He wants a breaking room.
Basically, she needs a rage room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
if you want to spar, Zon is there to spar. You know
you have
that.
a 21 AC. She's not getting through that. She knows better.
You have... you do find it in kind of the area described. It's not to the scope of the other side of the island where there is the large temple that was, you could walk into, but the outside of it was also like a stone courtyard, things like that, but also rubbled. You find something on a much smaller scope, probably where someone of faith would stay who served the temple, things like that.
Is there
A
any...
lot of broken over walls, shattered columns, some half-standing stone buildings. No people, though.
any remnants of the faith that was once there?
No.
Okay. making sure before she annihilates it, because she is basically just going to draw on what she understands to be the essence of her magic itself. She's not casting a particular spell, but rather just pulling from inside of her, and she will just unleash as much as she can out and away from her.
As you draw on that power, you pull from both your fresh understanding of divine magic through the cleric and your understanding of the form of dread, and you bring those together and you smash them into a single outward expression of just divine eldritch magic. But as you bring them together and you push them outward, the effect is not what you expect. Instead, in front of you, exactly 5 feet in front of you, a 10-foot tall, 5-foot wide doorway to the dream realm opens, made completely through your will and the combination of these two sources you can draw upon.
She immediately closes it.
Please go to the notes section of your character sheet.
Ready for you. Go ahead.
My path is my own. Expend 1 channel divinity and 1 form of dread.
Ooh,
Open
interesting.
a threshold of dreams and create a path of your own will. You can only exit the dream realm at an existing point or the one you created.
Say that one more time for me.
Once you create the threshold and you pass through it into the dream realm, you cannot leave the dream realm unless you go to a pre-existing exit, such as those you have seen in the very noble, opulent district of the island, or you make your way back to your original threshold. Good?
I think so. I'll check with you afterwards to be sure.
Okay, of course. So you push that expression outward, and doorway is created. You're like, oh dear, and you just close it.
So, like, the doorway, the way she would see it, the way player pictures it, is like an actual door frame appears in this like dark purple brick stone that she's been seeing in the dream realm. And then the inside, the actual portal itself, like, I just kind of envision another portal from Minecraft. It's purple, it works. And
Perfect.
she can see the dream realm like inside of it, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But her instant thought is, oh shit, he knows this, and just closes it. Because she doesn't know if that's a space that is hers or if it's shared.
Got it. I will say, if it will reflect the roleplay aspect, you do sense it is your will that's done this.
Okay, cool.
But you made a nether portal out of crying obsidian.
Essentially. The things that the mind can do, the game can't.
Yeah. Okay. And with that, I think it's a good place to go ahead and call our session. So what do you guys think of your abilities?
Quanky new abilities?
More fire is
It's-
good.
Well, I lost the Phoenix ability thing I had for the 24 hours and
Yeah.
gained a new one. That's just the same thing, but better.
Mhm.
Yes.
True.
And yours doesn't blow people up when you come back.
That is true.
It's honestly, it's funny because it's that weird semantic of are you actually dead or not? Because I'm at 0 HP, but all my HP is now temp.
Yeah.
So you still need healing afterwards. It's
Yes.
just for now you're alive.
We could
you're in
spend a
limbo.
couple more minutes to actually ignore you before we go. Oh crap!
True.
We need to heal.
Where's
Yeah,
my
we
diamond?
I'm gonna do the math and see what my maximum temp hit points will be.
Nice.
Wait,
Would
you
that
actually
just be
you
like your
didn't say.
HP anyway? Like your
You didn't
max
say,
HP?
Brandon. Is it the same die as my hit die, or is it a different die? You just
The
said
same die as your hit die.
It's a
Okay.
Zon die.
You're basically
Not
you're turning your spell slot into a hit dice.
that
It's
I
like
immediately am
pulling
rolling.
from your
Undie.
hit dice pool.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's an
Oh, it's-
undie.
It's an undie.
It's
Yep.
an undie that uses your hit dice, but also doesn't because it's spell slot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the max I can get is 50 temporary.
It's not bad.
That isn't bad at
Not
all.
bad at all.
Well, I'm glad you all enjoy them.
Yes.
Well, all you out there still watching, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. We're going to go get some sleep or some rest. We're going to have a good night. We hope you have a great night. Hope you had fun. Please be safe. Have more fun. Roll dice. And as always, if you're rolling some dice, do not forget your snacks. Good night, everybody.